Signatures workshop. I'm here with one of my favorite, most reliable healing plants, Solomon Seal. How about that name? Let's look at some of these signatures before we get into the virtues of this plant. We have signature of rhythm, signature of the spine, vertebrae, 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 vertebrae. We have what looks like, look at this leaf here. It looks like connective tissue. There's not a leaflet. There's not like a little stem on this leaf that comes out. This leaf goes right up to, this connective tissue goes right up to the bone. That's the signature for connective tissue. Boom. Look at that. So obvious. We have a plant. Let's see, underneath we have these more signatures of the rhythm in the flower as they are connecting to each leaf node by pairs. Sometimes by four. Once these, you see these flowers are starting to get a little shriveled up. Once they do get completely shriveled up, they will turn into berries, and the berries will become purple and not too much unlike this color right here. And when you see that color in nature, there should be a warning. Hello, pay attention. This is a Saturnian purple. Saturn is Kronos, is the Grim Reaper. It's the archetype of death, but Saturn also rules the bones, Capricorn, the joints, and these stable parts of the body. So the Saturnian priesthood purple is an indication to poison, maybe, perhaps. Well, this plant is edible. It's just edible from the root, from the soil down. Underneath here, we're gonna find a tuber. If I were to dig it up, but I'm not, we would find a tuber that is very interesting. It's stark white. It's like white, and it's a big, thick rhizome, and it has sections like this, and then it terminates, and like this, and terminates. And it looks like bones. Looks like a spine. Looks like intestines. It looks like, if I were to dig this up, it would look like I'm digging up some voodoo spell or something going on here. So, great signatures in the roots for the spine. When we cut that rhizome into little medallion-sized pieces, feel that texture with our fingers. It's very, very, very slimy. And that slime, that demulcency, is a great signature for moistening inside the body. Where? Here's where. The connective tissues. This is a premier plant for restoring the synovial fluid. Syn, without, ovial, egg white. The egg white parts of the body, which is a highly structured water between each joint. Sometimes people get too hot and inflamed and it dries up. Sometimes people are just not hydrated enough and it dries up. Sometimes its structure is due to too much dampness and it just doesn't maintain the elasticity as it has. And that would be Pitta, Vata, Kapha type joint problems respectively. Pitta's hot rheumatoid inflammation, a cooling, restorative botanical like this root of Solomon Seal would be great for that. Vata, dry, popping, cracking joints, not enough water, too much tension. Well, here we are, something that's going to restore the hydration qualities once again. And then this plant is very equalizing to tension and relaxation, allowing something that might be too stagnant in the case of like a kapha type joint problem And Kapha is the ruler of the joints in the Ayurvedic tradition. Because Kapha is the earth. It's the earth and water. So joint, what is that? It's matter and water combined, basically. If you want to think about it real simply. So Saturn, like rulership, but also I think about the moon too. Here's why. White flowers shine away from the sun. Don't shine on me, sunlight. Also, if we look at the underside of the leaf, it looks like a moonbeam. We got some like white hairs here. This is classic moon signatures. And then of course the white moist root. So Saturnian moon, I would say maybe moon in Capricorn, moon in Aquarius type stuff going on. Now, onto the berries. Yeah, the berries, if you consume the berry, you can eat the fruit, but you have to spit out the seed because it's poisonous. So, there's our poison signatures again. And in the lily family, a lot of the plants in the lily family, you can only eat the roots or that's it. Everything else about it might be poisonous. Let's look at the flower. Let me see if I can get a good shot of one that is still. Look at that. Can you see that? That's a 6-pointed star. Ooh. How cool is that? Solomon's seal. Who's Solomon? Son of David. Maybe one of the biggest mistakes in the Holy Bible, right? Built Solomon's temple with the help of some demons. So they say this is Solomon's seal because when you cut a cross section of the stem down there, you get all the different little sigils of Solomon's temple, and those sigils are what bound the demons. And sure enough, that's what it looks like. So very cool. One of my favorite plants. I'll harvest this. This is my little patch, and every year I harvest some of the root and I make medicine with that. And I also love this plant for the heartbeat. It helps with restoring the pericardium and the tension around the muscle that holds the heart. Pa-pum, 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 pa-pum. Works great with circulatory stimulants and circulatory regulators like hawthorn, and helpful, of course, for grief in that way too. Just a little bit of Solomon's seal along with the rest of the grief formulas. Wonderful plant, beautiful signatures.